Got a kid who loves to play in the sand, you're going to want to head down to Galveston tomorrow for the 30th annual AIA Sandcastle competition.
Yeah, East Beach will be transformed into a sea of sand creations. Chip's already grabbed his spot at the beach. Good morning, Chip. What are you going to build?
Good morning, guys. I'm hanging out with one of the teams that are competing, and not only that, they're the Golden Bucket winners from last year. I'm talking about Michael and Dillard here. So tell me first and foremost how you won last year's competition. We even have a little bit of video of last year's competition just to show off the size of these sculptures.
It starts off with a great concept sketch, starts off with great model building, great form work, excellent team members. That's how it works.
That was so cute. Little love poem to the team member this morning on KPRC. Now, you had mentioned the form building, and right before the break, we were starting to build one of those forms. This is out here. It is your custom form. We're going to attempt to take it apart to see if we can make this thing happen, but caution, usually they wait about 10 minutes, not 2. So if you will do the honors, I want to see what happens. The process here, if you want to take home some tips, they essentially made a box. They had it bolted together, and then water, sand, mix, water, sand. If you've ever made like concrete, that's essentially what they were doing here this morning. So let's take a look. Hey, that's not too bad. That's not too bad for 2 minutes instead of 10 minutes. So that is how it starts. How then does it progress to something like that?
Well, it takes a whole bunch of people with some really good tools, and it takes some models so that we know we have a common vision. You need to have everybody thinking the same thing, knowing where the dimensionality is, because you're trying to translate something from paper to a 3D model.
Now, what's funny is you had mentioned some really good tools, and this, for anyone watching at home, these are the tips that you can take home, because those really good tools can be household items. We actually have a couple of models out here this morning. Why don't you just kind of go down the line? What, for instance, do you use a pencil for?
Pencil. You need to make the details shine. If you want to get good shadow casting, you got to get in the corners, and there's nothing better than the needle point.
The fine tip. But what about the paintbrush, though?
The paintbrush? There's a lot of waste. When you're carving things away, there's lots of shrapnel and all sorts of sand debris. You got to get it out of there somehow.
So that thing he's holding is not a common household item. That looks like a custom piece.
That one is a specialty.
Okay.
That one is made by Dillard, and yeah, it's really, you got to get in there with the special tools in order to be able to get to the golden bucket.
And then just really quick, we got a straw for blowing away the light stuff, a spoon, a melon baller.
A melon baller. Absolutely, we use the melon baller on our little sculpture here today.
But most importantly, your favorite tool, and take this tip home, everyone, is big reveal.
The big butter knife.
The butter knife. That's how he carves the details into the block of sand like this. In fact, you're saying you made the octopus over there using the butter knife. So there you guys have it. Some tips for you when you come out tomorrow to see the competition, or Sunday just to see all the finished products. You will now know that the pros are doing it using household items. So maybe you can compete next year. Otherwise, the event, like I said, kicks off tomorrow. But guys, as long as the rain holds off, they're going to have sculptures all weekend down here at East Beach in Galveston. Now, speaking of sculptures on beaches, it's not just happening in Galveston. We have a great photo. Rachel has been in Rio, one of the most famous beaches in the world. Check out this sandcastle. That is monstrous. I don't even know if we'll see something like that here this weekend.
I know.
But obviously, you can do a lot with sand when you have the right tools and tips.
Yeah, that is awesome. I had not seen that.
And we're noticing that too right there in front of you that they put on that the octopus. Chip?
Do you know how long it took them to build that? I mean, were they there yesterday or just this morning, Chip?
Oh, that's a good question. You guys you came in last night to put this together, right? About how long did it take?
About 4 hours.
4 hours.
Wow.
All right,
Impressive.
so if you're a pro, that sculpture takes 4 hours.
That's awesome. I feel like you've upped my... Yeah, right? That would probably take me, I'd never do it, right? But I feel like you've upped my game, learning all those little tips and tricks.
Sure, and it all starts with the big mold. Very interesting, yeah. Thanks, Chip.
Thank you, Chip.
You guys know Rachel's been with her parents visiting there in Rio, so they got, of course, with the big sandcastles at Copacabana Beach, but obviously the whole family there having a great time. We thank Chip and his friends out there showing off our sandcastle competition this weekend.